Calling to order the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting for Tuesday, July 9th. It is approximately 7 o'clock p.m. If you'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Griesler?
Here.
Mr. Hizzy?
Here.
Mr. Pope?
Here.
Mr. Stevenson?
Here.
Mr. Crut?
Here.
Mr. Adams?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Biondo?
Here.
Mr. Graziani?
Here.
Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Ms. Rock?
Here.
Mr. Hugus?
Here.
Mr. Sedlak?
Here.
Mr. Weldon?
Here.
Welcome. We're going to start our meeting. We have a comment period for proposed agenda items only. This is a comment period for any resident or taxpayer to comment on any of the items that we are voting on this evening on the agenda. We will have another comment period at the end of this meeting for any municipal item, also for taxpayers and residents. We always ask that you keep a 5-minute time for your comments. There was a lot of discussion last week at our agenda-setting meeting about the airport development, the Willow Crest development. Just to be clear, that is not on the agenda for this evening. Council is not taking any action on that item. There is no vote being taken on that project whatsoever this evening. Certainly, if you want to comment about that at the end of the meeting, you are welcome to, but I just wanted to be clear that there would be no action taken at this meeting for that matter. But I'm going to open the floor right now for that comment period on proposed agenda items. If there's anyone who'd like to address council, now would be your time to do so. Very good. We're going to close that comment period. I have an executive session announcement. The council conducted an executive session on Tuesday, July 9th from 6:30 p.m. to approximately 7 p.m. to discuss matters pertaining to legal, personnel, and real estate. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at tonight's July 9th council meeting. Council members, the minutes for Citizens Night meeting of June 4th, 2024, the council agenda-setting meeting of June 4th, 2024, and the regular council meeting of June 11th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any questions or comments about the minutes? Hearing none, we do have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Reports of the Tax Collections Council. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. List of bills and budget transfers. Council.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And the payroll report. Council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And all those items were reviewed at last week's July 2nd agenda-setting meeting. Council, moving through the agenda of our old business, 24-1-C Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Mr. Graziani, please.
The applicant is requesting conditional use approval pursuant to Article 5, Section 504, quadruple K, vehicle leasing / rental or sales of the Monroeville zoning ordinance, number 2779, to establish a vehicle rental business. The property is located at 120 Mall Boulevard and known as tax parcel ID 639-C-120 in the Boulevard zoning district. The Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions, and of course, we had a hearing as required last week.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments, council? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Good luck to Enterprise.
Good luck with the project.
Yes.
New business, next item, 23-1-PRD, Old Stone Village.
So under new business this evening, we have several items related to Old Stone Village, as you can see if you're looking through the agenda. And of course, starting with the first one, applicant Burkentine Land Development is requesting approval pursuant to Article 6, Planned Residential Development of the Monroeville Zoning District Number 2779, to construct a planned residential development consisting of 7 apartment buildings with a total of 426 units and associated site amenities. The property is located adjacent to Giant Eagle and identified as tax parcels 744-F-29, 744-F-41, 744-F-43, 744-F-51, 744-F-160, and 744-R-145 in the R4 Multiple Family Residential and S Conservancy zoning districts. The Planning Commission recommends approval of the PRD with conditions.
Make a motion to approve.
Mike? Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any questions or
Yeah,
comments?
I have one question for Mr. Ratcher. How come so many tax parcels instead of being one? Each building got its own,
No, it's gonna be one tax parcel, it's being
combined.
consolidated. It's
Okay.
all broken up right now. They had to acquire enough parcels to get the, 50-some acres, I think.
thank you.
So that would be related to the agenda item number 3, correct?
Correct.
So later on, after the conditional use related to the site development, is the consolidation of the lots.
Okay. Any other questions on this first item, council? Hearing none, there is a motion and a second to approve 23-1-PRD. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
The ayes have it. Next item, 23-7-C, same project, Old Stone Village. Mr. Graziani, please.
Yes, this also, council had a hearing on last week for the conditional use approval. So here, the applicant, Burkentine Land Development, is requesting conditional use approval pursuant to 504.55 major excavation of the Monroeville zoning ordinance number 2779 to permit a cut and fill operation totaling approximately 43,702 cubic yards of earth. The property is located adjacent to Giant Eagle and identified as tax parcels 744-F-29, 744-F-41, 744-F-43, 744-F-51, 744-F-160, and 744-R-145 in the R4 Multiple Family Residential and S Conservancy Zoning District. The Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And the last item for this project, 23-6-SUB, Old Stone Village. Mr. Graziani, you're doing great with those tax parcels. This is your last time.
Applicant Burkentine Land Development is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide and consolidate tax parcels 744-F-29, 744-F-41, 744-F-43, 744-F-51, 744-F-160, and 744-R-145 into one lot with a total area of 53.785 acres in the R4 Multiple Family Residential and S Conservancy zoning district. The properties are located adjacent to the Giant Eagle and Target Shopping Center. The Planning Commission recommends with approval, or with conditions.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call,
I have
please.
a question.
Mr. Williams, please.
Last week, we talked about sidewalks. Was the sidewalk issue all taken care of?
That's will be the next item under resolutions. It's
Okay.
the pink in your packet.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
Yeah, it'll be the first, next item, actually. Good question. So there is a motion, a second. Any other further questions, council? So motion second to approve. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Council, moving through the agenda to our resolutions, they both pertain to the same project. We have two for this evening. Mr. Graziani, please.
The first is a resolution approving a waiver releasing Burkentine Land Development, Old Stone Village, from installing sidewalks as required by ordinance number 1016 and ordinance number 2235. And again, I point out in the pink resolution, or the pink part of your packet, where there's a resolution cover, and behind it, you'll see the modification request. And if you recall, last week, we discussed the plan. You'll see in there, it's 8.5 by 11, so it's small, but you'll be able to recall where on the one half of the road, of the entry road off Shoshine, there will be a bike lane installed. On the opposite side of the road is where the sidewalk would be installed. And there's a portion of Shoshine Road where, both from the developer and the municipal standpoint, it wasn't deemed feasible of building the sidewalk. They will contribute $80,000. I'm not sure if that's the exact amount.
It's a little less than that, but it's pretty close to it.
Okay, and they'll contribute that to a sidewalk fund, which is a restricted account that is used for the repair or replacement or construction of new sidewalks within the municipality.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve that resolution. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And the next resolution, Mr. Graziani.
It is a resolution adopting the Old Stone Village PRD sewage planning module. Again, this is in your packet in the pink section as well.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And moving on to our motions for this evening, we have two to consider. Mr. Graziani,
A
please.
motion to appoint Paula Montgomery for the Planning Commission to fill the unexpired term from January 2024 to December 2027. Ms. Montgomery previously served as an unexpired term on the Planning Commission from October 2020 to December 2023. Council nominated Ms. Montgomery at their last meeting of June 11th, 2024.
Council, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Appreciate Mrs. Montgomery getting involved.
Thank you.
And we have another motion. Mr. Graziani,
I'll
please.
just put it out there for council to make a motion to move the August Citizens Night and Agenda Setting Meeting from Tuesday, August 6, 2024, due to National Night Out, to Thursday, August 8th.
Yes. Make a motion to
Second.
Motion and a second.
move it to August the 8th.
Thursday, August 8th?
Yes.
7 PM.
Yes.
Same location here. Very good. Questions or comments, council? There is a motion and a second to approve that item. Roll call, please.
Mr. Biondo?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Adams?
Aye.
Mr. Crut?
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Poach?
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And we'll advertise that as well. Moving to our reports, we don't have any resolutions to consider for this evening, so we're going to move through to our reports of municipal staff. Mr. Ratcher, anything?
Nothing to report, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Graziani?
Just simply, this was the first year I got to experience Monroeville's Independence Day Parade. John Adams and the other committee of five who drafted the resolution or completed the Declaration of Independence would have been proud to see the patriotism not only exhibited that day, but the fireworks shot off that night. If you recall, I think it was Adams who said that now and forever, as long as this republic stands, people will, in celebration with explosives and fireworks, party. That was paraphrase, of course. But it certainly happened here in Monroeville, and it was amazing to see. I don't know how long the route is. Maybe Mr. Hugus has measured it in the past, but it's at least a mile from the Miracle Mile to the
A
end.
little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was 3 hours long, which I didn't know. How long that would be, nor did my
you
family.
learned
We didn't tell you everything.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a little hazing going on there. I said my family.
You may want to rethink that.
Yeah, it
next
won't be
year.
that long, but it was worth it. And it was wonderful to see all the patriotism and all the people out enjoying the time in our community. So thank you for letting me be a part of that.
Thank you, well said. Mr. Hugus, anything this evening?
No, sir.
Ms. Rock?
Nothing.
Great. Okay, I'm going to open up this comment period. It's a public comment for residents, taxpayers for any municipal item. There's a sign-up sheet. You can sign in whenever you come up, and we just ask that you keep your comments to a 5-minute time limit. Yep, actually, if you go around, back around it, and then there should be a little, on the middle of that table,
Should be a
probably
mark.
little piece of tape
X.
on the countertop.
Okay.
X marks the spot, that's good.
And then he'll find it.
And then we'll pull it up in a second.
Okay, I'll have like 4 of them.
Yeah, we'll see them on the monitors in a moment. We'll get you.
There you go, there's the first.
Okay, so if you wanted to state your name for the record, and did you sign in yet?
Yes.
Okay, you state your name for the record?
Hello, my name's Rosanna Weaver. I am a resident of Monroeville. I know I have to be here.
Welcome.
And I was in that Monroeville parade, that Monroeville 4th of July parade, and I think it was 1.8 miles that we walked. And then I walked that back from the convention center. So my situation, everyone thinks maybe you should plan better. I have a 3-year-old that's wowed in a stroller. He's doing his job as a toddler and putting me through it. And I have an 8-year-old that we were in, with our Girl Scouts, we were in the parade participating. So I was pushing him with a stroller. It's not easy for me to make arrangements to get a ride back for a party of 3 with a stroller, and I would need a car seat, according to the law and because it's safety. So I said I'll just walk back, and on my walk back, the sidewalks are not feasible. They're not accessible for a mom with a stroller or anyone with a stroller. They're not accessible for anyone who has walking issues, talking about people with Down syndrome, spina bifida, anything, people in accidents, veterans, anybody with wheels, wheelchairs, scooters. These sidewalks are not accessible. I've emailed everyone on council, I believe, pictures. Even the construction, sandbags, where you're trying to go around a telephone pole in the middle of a sidewalk is unacceptable. And there's ADA rules against that, where you have to have 4 feet sidewalk, 3 feet if it's a pole in there. You can put the telephone pole. I know that everyone's pushing the responsibility on whether it's Monroeville, PennDOT, the state, because it's State Route 22. There has to be some compromise, whether it's on the businesses. Somebody has to work together to make our sidewalks accessible. I know I talked to other people that mentioned their neighbors, their children, that would like to practice their independence and get around Monroeville, and they can't, or it's very difficult when they try. That's unacceptable, and we have to do better. We have to be a city that is inclusive to everyone's needs, or the best we can. There are ways, other places are doing it, even in Monroeville. I've seen the telephone pole that's closer to the road, the sidewalk next to it. Or somebody mentioned what's called a brow that goes around the pole. There are ways around it. So whether it's holding a business accountable, whether it's working with the business, or working with PennDOT, whoever's responsibility it is, we have to come together. The active transportation project, that the research has been done, the problems have been identified. So let's work together and fix it. That's just one day for me, pushing a stroller back from the convention center to Dollar Bank after participating in our parade, celebrating our patriotism. That's just one day for me. What about people that this is their daily lives trying to get around? And it was infuriating for me. I can't imagine being in the position that this is how I have to get around daily if I'm in that population. So I want everyone to
Show us the
consider
other
this.
pictures.
Yep,
Yeah, so Jared, if you put the camera on,
Time.
just leave it there for 1 second.
there you go.
And then it's approximately
In the
where,
middle of the sidewalk.
In front of what business?
I'm not sure at this
okay.
part, but I'm coming from the convention
Yeah.
center, walking on 22 back to Dollar Bank.
Well, show us the rest.
If you could just go through the other pictures, please.
This one is with the sandbags. As you can see, I cannot push a stroller through that.
Yeah, and that'll, so, I mean, obviously that part will be temporary, but the pole is still an issue there, and that one
Still,
definitely is.
middle of the sidewalk. What's the point of having a sidewalk if you're just putting a pole or building around? This is where the sidewalk just ends. So I walk on the stroller of 22. The parade is done at this point. Traffic is coming. I'm walking. When you get to the underpass, now the shoulder starts to end. I have to cross the street with an 8-year-old and pushing a stroller that has my 3-year-old in it, and I have to cross to get to CVS at this point because there's nowhere for us to be safely. And those are my pictures.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Didn't want to spend.
Well, thank you for bringing this to our attention. I mean, you're absolutely not wrong.
What's that?
You know, this is unacceptable, and we're gonna have some meetings with the state, because that's, it being PennDOT, it is the state, but I think we can do better, and the sidewalk fund that we mentioned earlier in the meeting, these are maybe some things we gotta look at and utilize, and, we definitely need to improve that. Or find a way to improve it with other stakeholders, so, but thank you for coming here tonight. I'm gonna leave the floor open for public comment on any municipal item.
I'm writing as fast as I
Take your time. The clock's not running yet.
can. I'm not going to be 5 minutes.
If you could just state your name for the record, please.
Nancy Gormley, I've lived in Monroeville for, I think, 38 years.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am going to address the airport property, just food for thought, not complaining, just things to think about. So I have ultimate respect for all of you, the mayor, the manager, because you are tasked with the fiscal health of Monroeville. And I'm sure if somebody wants to build 95, expensive homes, it's gotta be like winning the lottery. And that's good. That's good for all of us. But what I'm asking you to do is, if it comes before you, which I'm sure it will, and if it's ethical to talk to the people on the planning commission, I would encourage them not to rush it through. The reason being is there are other issues at hand that aren't part of the site plan. So their site plan might be perfect, but there may be other impacts that will affect residents of Garden City and other residents of Monroeville. And I'm just gonna run through them real quick. No comments are needed, it's just food for thought. And in no particular order, so bear with me, because I'm kind of, as they came to my mind. So I've come to understand there's an underground river under the airport from a previous mine. And it makes sense now, because I live on Greenleaf Drive, and we've had a lot of water in our backyards. And I didn't put two and two together until back in June. The gentleman that cuts my yard, my neighbor's yard, and the house next to me was saying, your yards are all swampy. For the past 2 summers, your yards have been all swampy. He didn't know there was construction up at the airport. And I truly feel that when they worked on the site plan for the apartments, it may have affected that river. I'm not an expert in that, but I think Monroeville Planning Commission, whoever, needs to find someone that'll tell you what's gonna happen to that river. Not just mine subsidence, but where's that river gonna go? Because I think it moved when they built Maple Crest. One is those streets that go up that are going to connect to Willow Crest. There is a lack of no parking signs, which is great, because, a lot of us have single driveways. Sometimes, you gotta park on the street because, somebody's going to work in your family. So we have to keep in mind, are we gonna make those no parking? Is that gonna be a problem for people? Because, you know, if people are parking on the street and you got people going in and out, those dead-end streets are gonna be impacted by that from a traffic standpoint.
Excuse me.
One of the things that really concerns me, and it should concern the municipality, is the business history of the gentle people that are developing this property. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the, I think, is it North Sturbane, South Sturbane problem that is now costing their township $3 million because of landslides, because the developer did a bad job, sold, after the property was developed, sold the lots off, and then there was a landslide, and people lost their homes. And then that developer, which I believe, if my facts are correct, is the same one who's doing Maple Crest and Willow Crest, but they went bankrupt. So the homeowners had no recourse, no one. So if it comes to be, I would really like to have them be required to set a chunk of money aside in case. So they can't develop it, sell it, and go bankrupt. The other thing is, of course, they do a traffic report, a traffic study, and they're looking at today's habits and what more cars would do, and there's a light gonna be at Garden City and Old William Penn. Well, you know, in reality, there's gonna be a number of people that are gonna say, I'm not gonna sit at that light, I'm just gonna go up Laurel Drive. I'm not gonna get on, you know, I'm coming home from work in the city. I'm not gonna get on the Parkway, it's always backed up, trying to get off, now it's all this construction. I'm gonna get off at Business 22, go Old William Penn, up Laurel Drive, up Garden City, Greenleaf, Valley View, and none of that was taken into effect in what I read. So it's just food for thought. Today, coming to this meeting, and there aren't 95 homes behind me, the traffic at the light to get onto 22 was backed up to Karen Court. That's a long way. So when these people in their 95 homes want to go to Monroeville and they don't want to sit at the light, okay. And that's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to get in? If there's anything else you want to, I'll let you wrap it up.
I have a different topic. It's all, and this one will be 30 seconds, I promise you.
Go.
I think it would be very helpful if you put the members of the various commissions, planning, parks, zoning, I don't know who else there is, on the website. I wanted to send a letter to the members of the planning commission, couldn't figure out who they were.
Yeah, you can we need to put the names on, but you certainly can send it to us, we can distribute to planning
Well, I know
commission.
that now because my councilman is very helpful, but I shouldn't have to
Thank you.
bother him.
But the point
That's his job, to be
Well,
bothered, yeah.
That's where we get that.
But that's a good suggestion, and we can probably improve that
And
part
a
of
point
it.
of clarification, the report that we heard last week, or we've heard at the planning commission, is there's a warrant for a light at Old William Penn at Garden City, but there's no proposal by anyone right now to install a traffic light at Garden City and Old William Penn.
Oh, I think it
So
was
what
part
the
of the
studies had said,
rectification.
what the studies had said in the past was it was a level D, I believe, of service, which means a light could be warranted, but that doesn't necessarily mean proposing to build one. Mr. Hugus or Mr. Weldon, is that
That's
accurate?
correct.
Okay, very
Well,
good.
then, good luck with that. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you. I'll leave the floor open.
My name's Valerie Warning. I just wanted to come up and thank Monroeville Council for the support of the 4th of July parade. And thank you, Dennis, for stepping up and taking over this year. It was fabulous. We've got so many positive comments that I'm just really glad. But I just wanted to say thanks. Okay?
Thank you, Val.
So, my name is John Akey. I live in Garden City. I just wanted to comment about the sidewalks and housing developments. Starting with sidewalks, on Monroeville Boulevard, as you're heading towards Pecan Road, basically go this way. The sidewalks can be not level and have like a slope to them, and that's dangerous. And, you know, Monroeville Park, how I get to Monroeville Park from my house, especially if I want to go on my e-bike, I have to basically use that route because it's what I view as the safest route. And that section, because that sidewalk, Pecan Road and Tilbrook, are the most like dangerous parts, and I feel it's unsafe. So I would like to see council look into fixing that. And then about housing, I'm glad to see the approval of the development near Giant Eagle today. But for Willowcrest in Garden City, I feel like this is something that needs to be developed. It's 94 homes for families to enjoy Monroeville, to have the quality of life that we all have here. For the students to go to Gateway School District, I know that's not what you're in charge of, but still. And I just feel like it's a really good thing. I don't really have the same concerns about traffic. I think anytime you build something that people are living at or want to go to, traffic is going to be an issue to me. People will learn and change. So, and then the mine issue, I'm no expert, so refer to the experts on that, but I do really support that development. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll leave the floor open. Is there anyone else who'd like to address council on any municipal item? Seeing none, we're going to close that comment period and move over to reports of council members and the mayor. Mr. Hizzy, anything this evening?
Nothing other than thank the residents coming out for the 4th of July parade. It was a great showing this year, the whole route, for the ones that didn't walk. Alex walked this year.
Mayor and I are extremely excited to be in this parade.
Phenomenal this year. Amount of people, it's only gonna get bigger, folks. I'm sure it will be in the future bigger in Cannonsburg here very shortly, the way it's growing. So, that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Mr. Poach?
I don't recall you walking, Mr. Hissey.
There he is.
There he is.
Mr. Izzy's smart, buddy.
On his quad, yeah.
It is good to do that. Nothing significant. Well wishes out to Joan Kelly, the wife of former councilman Mike Kelly, and Linda Gate is his mother. She's in the hospital. Suddenly came in last week, so hopefully she's doing well and will recover quickly too. So good luck to Joan. Hope she feels better. Other than that, nothing else.
Mr. Stevenson?
I just want to thank the municipal staff, Public Works, the police department, everybody that was involved from the committee for putting on a great show. The people I've talked to were impressed, and seeing Joe on his quad helped. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Crut?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Adams?
I agree with Mr. Stevenson's statement. It was a great parade, thanks to the staff and all the volunteers.
Mr. Williams?
I want to thank Jared and the TV crew. They always do a great job and make Monroeville look good. I want to thank Dennis Biondo for his leadership. Joe Hizzy and his quad. I think they had to
Bob in their car.
have heavy-duty tires on that quad, huh? Yeah. Paul Estar did a great job leading us on and telling us when to go and when to stop. Harold Kotowski, ex-councilman, was quite involved in it, and I appreciate his leadership in leading us to be at the right place at the right time. I want to thank the committee for a great parade and fireworks, and I want to thank God for the needed rain. I just wish he would have held it off for a couple more hours. It would have been nice. But the fireworks were great. The day was great. It was beautiful out. And I want to thank the countless volunteers for their many hours of work. People don't realize what really goes into a parade, but just many hours. And the sidewalks, we're going to have to address that. I think it's an important issue, and it's been that way for a lot of times. And I get upset when I see a sidewalk just stop, and there's no way to get off of it. And I understand the state don't allow us to put a curb cut on the road at the end of the sidewalk, so it's things we have to address. But anyhow, I want to thank you all for coming out and enjoying the parade, and enjoy the summer, and keep cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Biondo.
Yeah, I'll echo what everybody else said. Thanks to the committee, Val. Thank you to Public Works and the police for really making it happen. And I also want to give a special thanks to Alex for stepping up and helping us MC at the last minute, and Dana as well. You can kind of hear him on the video here. They both did a great job MCing today or this past week. And thanks, guys, for stepping up. Appreciate it.
Great. And yeah, and nobody told Alex it'd be 3 hours whenever they asked him to MC. We told him that after.
We didn't tell him everything.
You got 2 hours and 15 minutes of fire trucks.
Right. But yeah, once again, thanks to everybody that was involved, all the participants, the committee. Mr. Williams said it. It does take a lot to put a parade on, and there's a lot of people involved, from staff, employees, volunteers, participants. It's really a big undertaking. So really, we really, the municipality really appreciates everyone's involvement. And I echo everyone's comments here. And then I also want to thank Deputy Mayor Poach for covering the past couple meetings in my absence. Did a great job. And then with that, I want to seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
So,
Yeah.